Yeah, and now they've kind of put themselves in a bit of a hole here with the Witch Doctor pickup. It doesn't give them the easy catch connection which are requiring versus someone like a Void Spirit. We saw a lot of the spirits, kind of nerfed a little bit through the last patch, but I feel like in a game like this where you don't have that ease lockdown versus hero, Yopaj could definitely take over if he is the one playing it.
The other thing that I'm really seeing a lot, and obviously Team Spirit were probably the ones to do it the most at TI, is that a lot of supports these days, the ones that are getting the really high win rates, are the ones that have like a lot of self-sustain and self-survivability, right? Like we saw Maposhka, for example, play the Bane and the Wyvern, both heroes that are able to reduce a lot of their damage, have a quick, burst heal, for example, or can just make themselves invulnerable for a short amount of time. Witch Doctor doesn't have that. So I feel like if you're in the wrong position just once, you're going to get picked off and you're going to feed a lot of money over in the form of track kills. And with heroes like a Monkey King and a Void Spirit, it's very easy to get isolated and killed in pretty quick fashion.
And are you worried that Army Geniuses might not be able to keep up with the pressure that I feel like Boom are looking to amplify this game through the early stages?
Well, the thing I was really looking for was, like, I felt like with their first two picks, Army Geniuses were really like, right, we're just going to go for super strong lanes and we want to win the laning phase because we know that Boom, they're a very good team. And so if we try and take it late, perhaps their additional experience in the form of decision making is going to just skew the game a little bit more in their favor. But if we make sure that we dominate the early stages, then we're going to give ourselves a really good crack to try and end the game in about 30 minutes or so. But they've kind of gone away from that a little bit there. Magnus, of course, playing a lot more for the late game, one of the few abilities, AoE abilities as well, that actually goes through the BKB, which is always going to be amazingly effective. Ricky, he takes pretty good advantage of the Empower as well to be able to speed up his farm. It's not really one of these heroes that likes to build things like, the Battle Fury or the Maelstrom. So you're going to need some kind of farm accelerator. So I like the Magnus for that.
Yeah, it just feels like though I'm worried that Army Geniuses are playing a little bit more slow paced when you have a lineup on Boom that can take objectives with the help of the Enchantress. You've got a way to increase your gold effectively thanks to the track. A Monkey and Void Spirit can come online very early, and then maybe just lacking a little bit of team fight at the moment, some AoE control to enable the Monkey King, but I feel like they can have free roam of this game if their lanes go really well, and honestly, they've got quite some strong laning stage heroes.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they've even revealed just yet exactly where this Void Spirit's going to be. Like FBZ can play Void Spirit perfectly fine as well. So even Tim's, to be honest, if they wanted to go for like an FBZ bounty hunter, if they were that way inclined. So we'll see how Army Geniuses are looking around this one out. It's going to be a Pangolier. Bloodseeker is still in the pool. Not sure how big a fan of this I am, but it does give them a lot more of that early tempo, I suppose. So you're going to be able to have a lot more team fight control. If your chain's locked, stunning someone, you're going to get a lot more value out of the Death Ward, for example. There's not really too much in the form of long range interrupts. It's basically only the Boundless Strike. So we'll see if this Pangolier is going to enable the Witch Doctor's game a little bit.
Are you anticipating this to be a Pango 3 and a Mag 2?
I think so. Mag is very strong against the Void Spirit in lane. It oftentimes just crushes it just because, you're a strength hero going up against an intelligence hero. You're going to be constantly using the Empower just to push out the waves. You can very effectively farm the small camps, and it's hard to kill you. I'm going to go the Spectre. So this is I would not want to be a support if I'm on Army Genius's side because they have so much that's going to be able to kill you. And it feels like you're kind of like a lamb to the slaughter, basically. It's going to need some super defensive items right now, and if it's a Glimmer, you've got a Bounty Hunter or just a Dust. If you've got a Ghost Scepter, you've got a Void Spirit who's able to dish out a ton of damage. So there's not a lot of good times coming for this Witch Doctor, which most likely it's going to be Varisa's hero, I would say, but we'll see. Yeah.
All right, here we go. So we got the FBZ Bounty Hunter, which is, I'm all down for position 3 bounty. I'm excited to see how he's going to be able to utilize the extra priority in regards to what items FBZ wants to pick up. Do you feel like though, because we were speaking a lot about Boom having the capability to really run over this game early with the extra influx of gold they'll get from track, do you feel like the Spectre kind of plays a different pace of Dota?
We'll see how CTM opts to build it, right? Like they recently changed the Aghanim Scepter, so now that the Spectral Haunt, the smaller version, the single target one, has a 40-second cooldown instead of 30, and they also had a very slight nerf to the cost on the Falcon Blade, which is obviously the most common build up into that Aghanim Scepter, just to give you those basic stats. So if I think they still kind of need to do that. They still need to go for that early aggression because they've got such a strong killing lineup. And again, Bounty Hunter, he's one of those heroes that can't just sit back and farm. He needs to get his farm off of kills, and I feel like you need the entire team to be able to enable that. Yopaj, he's always going to get aggressive, but FBZ, the reason you pick this Bounty Hunter in a core role is that you need to get those kills, you need to enable him to scale and be this unstoppable force.
Yeah, well, we'll see if FBZ is able to scale here with the Bounty Hunter. Potentially Tim's on the Enchantress, a very strong laning support as well, so that could further enable the Bounty. But how are we feeling for this game one? Do we feel like Boom, with the kind of lineup they have coming through with the Bounty, with that extra gold, or Army Genius is the more your passive orientated style with the Empower just to buff up the Riki is enough for them to take it?
Well, we just saw there, I'm not sure if it was on the stream or not, but last 5 wins on Magnus were wins. It was a very dominant win there for Azura in his last mid-game as the Mag, so it's looking pretty good. I'm still going to go with Boom. I think it's really going to depend on how they want to set these lanes up as well, right? We've got Lim here, who's looking like he's being in that position 4 role. You've got Hyde playing the Monkey King, Tim's playing the Enchantress. So wonder if they're going to switch those lanes up a little bit just to make sure that they can avoid that thing that you pointed out, the paralyzing cask, very effective against an Enchantress because the stun does last so long on creeps, 5 full seconds.
We'll see. Is there going to be a huge importance in regards to lanes? Like, do you feel like one team has to come out ahead further than the other team to determine how the pace will set?
I would say that, like, Army Geniuses, they can probably bank on winning mid. I would say that the Spectre lane is going to go back and forth. I feel like the Pangolier is going to be able to get a decent amount of farm, just spamming out the swashbuckles as much as he can. He's not really going to worry about bullying the Spectre all too much. And then topside for Boom with this Bounty Hunter, I think he should be just fine against the Riki. You know, you've got a very high amount of armor, you've got a decent amount of survivability. They don't have a ton of burst damage for you unless they get really lucky with some of these paralyzing cask procs. So overall, I think the laning stage is still slightly skewed in Army Genius's favor, but Boom, they've certainly got a much stronger, let's say, 10 to 15 minute tempo.
Which, it could be a little bit worrying here if Army Genius can't really match that tempo. I mean, they're going to have ultimates coming online at that stage, so potentially with the supports level 6, they could really stem some momentum that Boom are looking to build up. But really for Radiant, they're not as reliant on their ultimates. I mean, you're playing a support Monkey King, so the Wukongs isn't going to have that much impact. I mean, yes, Spectre's great and all, which I also want to highlight that I'm intrigued to see how Mag can really have a performance this game. I mean, you're going up against the Vision from Track, the Haunt as well to stop your Blink Dagger. It feels very difficult here for Azure to have any way to really get some big RPs off.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. I think it's going to be about playing around those smoke times, just to make sure that, you know, you are catching them by surprise. We can see here as well, CTM, he's gone for that Falcon Blade, much more likely to still be that Aghanim Scepter build, just because, like you mentioned, they're not reliant at all on their ultimates, and I feel like you just want to feed a little bit more into that, make sure that, you know, you can be active every 40 seconds if you want to be.
CTM would love the action across the map, especially with the Bounty Hunter to combine with as well. And not only that, but the Void Spirit. There's a lot of potential here for Boom to get kills across the map and really just, you know, put a chokehold on super early on. As we see, I mean, it's pretty much a free lane at the moment for CTM. I mean, the Pango is not the strongest laning stage hero, and Hyde's literally just bullying both these heroes out. So CTM has to be loving life.
I think it'll change a lot at level 2, just because obviously you need the swashbuckle to be able to secure some of those range creeps, for example, secure the last hits on even just the standard creeps. But now, let's see if he puts the point into the lucky shot. Yeah, you can't just allow this Monkey King to run at you, and I mean, it's going to be based on luck, and he gets the full trade-off there.
Oh, they're going to go for it, actually. Bommy takes a couple of tower hits, thought he could put up the pressure against Hyde and with the help of the Grimstroke, but again, CTM Getting a lot of last hits down bottom as we take a look at the other side lane at the moment. DB is paired up with the Witch Doctor, so they really want to just follow Tims around, make sure that Witch Doctor pick can do as much as humanly possible to really shut down Tims.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even worried about the creep at the moment. He's finally been able to claim it on the right side. Wonder if that'll give him a little bit of information, the fact that this area was warded.
Down bot, actually. Hyatt, he's in trouble. Jingu stacks, not enough to be able to pick up first blood and keep the life as Lim and Wami by the small campus able to find a big kill here.
DB had a very nice sidestep as well. The Sadia Tormentor creep tried to throw the Hadouken out at the Ricky, would have killed him, but able to get the sidestep off, gets the salve, and he's able to walk straight on back into the lane. So, you know, there's some good things that are happening for Boom, of course, with CTM getting a lot of farm, but overall, I'm feeling pretty decently about Army Genius's chance as well.
Now, how about this mid matchup though? Because Yopaj is 11-7 compared to the 8-6. You were saying this was a bit more Magnus favored. Were you expecting this?
Super early on, it can be that way. I feel like once you get a few more points into that Empower, it's crazy strong, the amount of bullying that you're able to do. But the fact that Yopaj was able to come out with such a dominant super early display means that that time is going to come a little bit later, right? Like, you're going to have 3 points in the Empower probably 30 seconds to a minute later than you would like.
Could this just really be the dominance of Yopaj as well? I mean, we saw what he could do through last season for DPC, and I mean, it has to be said that probably the skill level is probably top 3 mid laners at the moment in Southeast Asia.
I would agree with that. It is, of course, another one of his strong heroes as well. I'm keen to see how Yopaj performs as well overall on the patch, considering the big nerfs that the Spirit heroes did cop.
Yeah, that was a lot of hate there to all those heroes. Bottom lane, Hyde is in trouble here with the 1-2 combo. Wami and Lim getting aggressive on the Monkey King once again. They want to look to put him in the grave, but Hyde has got enough distance to make it back to the tower. Now they're going to look to pounce as Wami has compromised his own position. With a cell play from Hyde, gives him ample time to push on forward, and our CTM is looking to get in the action too, but he doesn't have enough mana for another round of the dagger, especially with that being on cooldown, so AG, they can kind of reset now.
Have a look. I mean, I'm assuming you're still looking at the last hits, but have a look at the net worth already. Spectre is miles ahead.
That is, I mean, yeah, you gave up first blood, but CTM, he doesn't care. He's like, hey, man, don't stress at all. Hyde, if you're gonna die like that, and I can get 29 last hits, pretty much uncontested right now, they take that any day of the week.
Absolutely. Zero as well. I mean, he's gone for a couple of cute plays onto Yopaj, trying to skewer him back underneath his tower. Channel his inner collapse as much as possible. But, you know, you're against a Void Spirit. It's not like a Storm Spirit that really lacks that mobility prior to level 6. He still has to assimilate.
He's in trouble up top, in fact. One more Blink Strike to play with. But Boomer utilizing this massive creep wave to dive deep onto the tower, and the Witch Doctor will be the casualty. Maybe DB's actually just going to put himself as a sacrifice, but you're the position 1. You don't really want to be giving up your life to protect the 5, and in fact, Tims would just pick up a double thanks to the Hadouken.
Yeah, very nicely done. This is the lane that I was really expecting to go a lot better for Boom, but the fact that, you know, Spectre's having a great game, Yopaj is having a great game is really good signs right now if you're a Boom fan.
And FBZ, I mean, the bounty is a question mark for me, especially as a core. Like, he can be very hot and very cold, but once you get that early track, you can start to snowball out of control.
Yeah, it's not just that, right? It's not quite an anti-carry in the form of, like, you know, an OD or a Razor, but, you know, if you're a core, you can feel pretty comfortable with the farm that you're able to get to just consistently take gold away from the enemy's carry. You know, 20 gold every 9 seconds at this stage.
Like you were saying before, just the net worth. I mean, again, it's continues to grow. In fact, it's already a 3,000 net worth lead for Army Geniuses, and I wonder if they recognize how bad this laning stage is truly gone for them.
I'd say they know. I'd say they know. They would have been very happy with being able to pick up that first blood, of course. It was around that level 2 timing, right? Where you've got the lucky shot, we're able to turn things around, not enable this position 5 super greedy Monkey King to be able to just do whatever he wants. But, oh, very nicely done, Azura. He knew that the Monkey King was hanging around. They've got that unorthodox Observer Ward inside the river just to see if there's any kind of rotations coming through from this monkey.
Yeah, they were also trying to scout out Tims up top. It was an observer ward placed to scout him out in the jungle. I believe the pings came through as well, so think they are aware of potentially where the observer is, but yeah, like you were saying, Azura looks like he's gonna fall back and try and farm up the triangle, but you know, we were seeing the praises of a Hyde and how he was able to secure CTM's lane all at the same time. He's even dropped the really early Observer Ward and Sentry to block up the Ancients too. So they've got tabs on the Magnus at the moment.
Haste.
I mean, I know we've talked about how this game it's looking to be very aggressive. Speaking of which, we've got a Hasterin on the bot side with Azura cutting his way through the trees, trying to get in behind this Spectre. But they might have a bit of a change of plans here as Yopaj is looking to take away this big stack that they built up for the Magnus. I mean, you've had a good laning stage, and if you can combine it together, oh, that was Hyde securing all those kills with a Boundless Strike.
Like, how do you start the fights on Dire right now? I feel like you're really reliant on the Pango Rolling Thunder or a skewer into RP. Like, the ways they can start these engagements and force Boom to take some action, it's not easy at all for Dire.
It's not. I really thought they needed to make a play around having that...
they're going to try and drop it. There's the RP. Is the chain lockdown perfect, though? They'll screw him deeper into the territory of Army Geniuses, and that will cost Yopaj his life. So there we go. First use of the RP. A big kill on the position 2 from Boom.
I mean, it's a big kill, but have a look at the kill feed. It was the Dire that got that kill. The tower actually ended up securing it. So 176 gold spread across 5 heroes that, I mean, I believe at least 3 of them TP'd to mid. So that's Spectre having a fantastic time. FBZ, he's been able to get his track. He's level 7 now, and he's just looking to roam. He's come online at this stage. He's even been passed over the Observer Ward to get a nice deep vision down. They know that they're going to get these early timings up because of how dominant of a performance they've been having. So look to have Yopaj try and roam around a little bit here. They'll spot out that Observer Ward prior to that, just because they had the Dire one placed down to the south of the outpost, but still, it's, again, a scary time to be a support right now.
Is under attack.
Well, that ward is at least going to keep FBZ alive for the moment. See that they're playing around. Once again, Yopaj, though, posturing quite aggressively on the high ground. It costs FBZ to double back just in case a fight broke out, but the bounty's fine as well. So looks like it's just more space for CTM. And meanwhile as well, it has to be said that Hyde, he's just soaking up some gold and experience down bottom.
Yeah, he's totally happy with this. You don't need that much farm to be effective as a Monkey King. He's just trying to build it a little bit around the survivability. He's going into the Orb of Corrosion. Don't hate it. No one else on the team has got it, so it's just about providing that little bit extra that no one else is. And I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. They had the Sentry Ward delivered out to the Witch Doctor, but they didn't actually end up de-warding that high ground vision that they should have known about, because they had the Observer Ward just south of the outpost.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And I still cannot believe it's a 5,000 net worth lead. This is all without... They haven't got a kill with track, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing, the fact that Boom are this far ahead at the moment. And you know, Army Genius, the only way back in this game is off the back of the triangle. It's going to be so obvious where Dire are playing, so Boom can play accordingly to that and just place massive amount of Observer Wards in that area.
Well, at least they're able to get rid of this super deep Observer Ward that they placed down between the mid tier 1 and tier 2 towers. So, you know, it makes it a little bit less effective to be roaming around as the bounty hunter. Now you also need to be cautious about just walking around in that area as well. They've got some decent pick-off if you walk up to them. It's, again, just like you mentioned, though, the difficulty of how do you start a fight if you're the ones wanting to make the aggressive move.
Well, they're going to start a fight down bot, but maybe they're happy with just forcing out the Rolling Thunder, knowing that if they force this ability to be on cooldown, then it will now open up the map for Boom. So I'm intrigued to see if maybe that's the signal for them to think about taking the tier 1 mid or not.
I mean, this is an 11-minute tier 2 tower being hit by a siege creep. This is not good when you've got... Honestly, I think that was the thing that I was just mentioning before the previous fight broke out, in that neither of these two teams is really good at sieging, right? Like, it could be a slow game in that sense, but I just feel like Boom have the tools to be able to just overwhelm them in the form of hero power, hero kills, and items that they're going to get up because of this track, that it's not even really going to matter. You know, you can go these things like a Desolator, for example, on the Bounty Hunter to speed up your tower taking potential.
Dire's middle tower.
Now it's Boom that's looking to be on the aggressive front here. FBZ trying to start on DB at the moment, which does give some time for reinforcement to come over. Yopaj is going to just drop the double Astral Step, and now Wami, he doesn't have the ultimate for the team fight, so Hides hiding in the wing at the moment, waiting for the perfect timing for the Wukongs to give them some control of the high ground, but they have to be careful because the Magnus skewers from behind, locks an RP onto multiple heroes, but they're just so far behind. The damage isn't there because meanwhile, the backline, CTM just eating the supports alive as 4 drop and Hyde's looking to make it a 5-man wipe as well, but they just want to do more damage to the economy as they'll go back and take some Ancients away.
This is looking real bad for Army Geniuses. I mean, if you just look at the kill score, you're like, okay, 6-4, not too bad, but 8,000 net worth at 12 minutes, that's nearly a 100% win probability. Dota Plus is being kind. It's saying 80-20, but, you know, you've got a Spectre. You've got the late game secured. You're only, what, 1,400 gold away from being able to secure an Aghanim Scepter as well onto spec. It's rough, that's for sure, and they've certainly been able to come online with this bounty hunter. I believe FBZ has been involved in every single one of the kills so far, and there were some really valuable track ones as well in that engagement.
I mean, what are they really close to at the moment from Dire to turn this around? Ultimates are up surely. They feel like they have to make a move though with this bottom tier 1 tower falling, but the smoke not there fast enough. They'll still make the attempt on CTM. He doesn't have a way to escape, and without any extra heroes in the backline, Army Genius is going to drop absolutely everything possible here to try and bring down the Spectre, which might just not even be enough.
Surely.
I don't even think it is. Tim's, he's got 4 points in the Nature's Attendance. Surely they kill him, but surely they won't. As CTM turns it back on both of them. Now Lim, eyes on the prize. He's got a 0 coming over as well, but the Death Ward, it's beautiful. It'll pick up at least 1, but again, what is the consequences? They've already lost 4 on Army Geniuses. Mag will attempt the TPR, but the Shuriken from FBZ, the nick of time to be able to cancel that, and it's a bounty triple kill 14 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold going FBZ's way. He's the clubhouse leader now in the form of net worth, and that entire time the siege creep survived as well. Wami's finally able to get rid of it with the swashbuckle having rotated down, but now Glyph used as well. There's absolutely nothing that's going to be defending your top, your bottom towers, although boom, they might just go and take the mid tier 1 tower as well. I mean, I would say it opens up Roche, but again, they are kind of like a slow Roche taking lineup, so I feel like unless you've got a Solar Crest or a Desolator, you can't really afford to do it right now on Boom. They're happy to just continue going for kills.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, a lineup like a bounty hunter, you are really just happy with getting kills because you take a look at what's going on. I mean, in the net worth, bounty's also on top as well. Is this a BKB completed into Ags?
Yep.
Yeah, it is. He's already got a BKB. Like, what do you do?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm really impressed by how Variz has been playing this, by the way. Like, I know the lane didn't go as ideally as they might have liked, but you know, we kind of expected that coming into this. But ever since then, his death wards have been really good, both for zoning capabilities as well as being able to secure that double kill there. But you know, it feels like he's kind of playing a lone hand at this point in time.
FBZ, fresh BKB completed. Let's see, he's able to utilize this for the team fight. Jura's already had to skew and force the RP out on a Soul Bounty Hunter, and they're just wasting ultimates left, right, and center as Boom can look to force them further and further back on the map, just suffocating them in no man's land as the Magnus has no escape. Wami just has to charge up the Rolling Thunder to try and get something out of it to resemble some form of a successful team fight. But now Boom, they can just turn their attention back to DB. He'll get the blink up on the high ground, but it's not going to matter as Yopaj has free roam in this game. A triple kill for the Void Spirit, and they'll look to finally put them in the grave for this game 1.
Collected.
15k net worth 16 minutes into the game. That's the kind of thing it is. And again, they're not worried about the towers. They're not wanting to back up and say, all right, let's just try and take this a little bit slower. It's just kill, 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 kill. You've also got the Aghanim Scepter up now for the Spectre, who previously joined in with the use of the Haunt. She could just go back to farming and just do the exact same thing with the rest of the team. All ultimates available again for Boom. And that's even a double damage on the top side of the river if Yopaj looks to scout that one out. So if this game wasn't over previously, it's getting pretty damn close.
I mean, you've got... what do you feel like the big issues right now for Army Geniuses in regards to, do you think it was a draft issue or just maybe they got outplayed pretty heavily in the lanes?
They can't start team fights. That's the big issue. So the fact that Wami, for example, a couple of times has used his Rolling Thunder just to be able to escape and TP away, they just, boom, again, they're an experienced team. They know immediately, right, well, they can't fight us now, so we're just going to continuously run at them. So I feel like if I'm Army Geniuses, the one team fight that kind of went okay for them was when Azura was able to hit that 3-man RP. It's just that there wasn't any follow-up afterwards. So I think they've drafted themselves into this corner where they do kind of need to just group up as one and look to smoke together, but they can't do it now. They've got tracks on multiple people, so they're just kind of hemmed in next to this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it really felt like Boom have had the vision advantage for just the entirety of this game, and they'll now get an opportunity from Army Geniuses. They're looking to try and reveal the Blink RP. Maybe they can just catch out Hyde, but they're too slow. It's a tree dance away, and now they're all scattered out. The rest of Boom thinking about converging on the area.
Again, the fact that there's no real big tower takers is still kind of an issue here for Army Geniuses, because early on in a game, you don't want to just smoke to be able to get a kill, even on the likes of a Spectre, right? Because it doesn't actually cost that much to buy back if it's a really good fight and try and turn the team fight around, look to get 3 kills, for example, and make your buyback totally worth it. I feel like if you're smoking at this stage, it needs to be a smoke that's going to net you a kill as well as an objective, whether that be Roche or a tower. And right now, they have none. They haven't been able to take Roche, they've got no towers, and they've got no heroes that are going to be able to do that. So this smoke, I don't know how effective it's going to be if you're going up to your side of the map, because it's just, again, way too defensive.
See, Boom, they scanned on top of the mid-crit wave. They thought someone was going to go through from the mid lane all the way up to top, but there's been a full wraparound from Army Geniuses. They haven't found anyone. Boom, looking for their counter smoke, thinking that they're back around the triangle, but no one's home at the moment, so a smoke on smoke. Maybe they'll run into CTM, but Spidey senses starting to tingle.
I mean, that'd be the ideal scenario, right? Like, if you go on the Spectre, she can't be joined by the rest of her team immediately, like if it's the other way around. So, unfortunate that they weren't able to snag it. And again, we talk about the vision advantage.
Eyes on Mag.
Hide. Yeah.
There we go. Haunter instantly. Vision advantage now amplified here for Boom. They're going to try and push back the Magnus to cancel the Blink Dagger. They've done so successfully. So the Mag, he just has to use the RP on one solo hero, which is enough lockdown to kill off Yopaj. But they're way too deep underneath the tower. But it looks like the rest of Boom, they're a little bit paranoid right now about going deep under the objective, as it's going to cost FBZ's life. But now, finally, they're happy to converge. As CTM's looking to show up. They've used all their ultimates, been able to buy back forced out. Now Boom are thinking twice. As with the Blink in, Skewer, they've been able to cancel at least the retreat on CTM. He's got no TP available, so stuck in the tree line is the position 1. Then Dire Straits, maybe he'll be able to take Lim away before he dies, and CTM will be able to do just that. So a successful fight for Army Geniuses, some form of a comeback maybe brewing.
That's optimistic, but it is a good thing that they're able to finally get some gold. Not just that, it's the net worth as well. Ricky getting a lot of experience coming off that. I believe he was level 11 going into that fight, and now he's level 13, so a lot more damage able to be output with the Cloak and Dagger. He's got the extra point in the smoke screen as well.
Is he actually going to go down here? Yours is on cooldown. He might not make it out of the silence, but hey, what do you know? He's got multiple boys backing him up. It'll still cost him his life, but maybe the price is worthy enough if Hyde and FBZ can clean off DB, and that they can. On relentless pressure as they're going for another kill. Witch Doctor utilizing every single thing he can do in the toolkit to maybe get a little bit of distance back to the safety of the high gun, but even that is not enough. Now it does give Tim's, it costs him his life here underneath the tier 2, but it looks like Boom still, it's just one hero falling and allows them to get even another kill as Boom just dived deep under the tier 2 tower.
It just feels like for Army Geniuses, everything needs to go right for them if they're going to look to win a team fight, right? Like, you need an amazing Rolling Thunder into a good RP. If you can get a Soulbind, Phantom's Embrace onto people, combine that together with a Lucky Shot, for example, so that they can't actually get rid of the ghosts, then maybe, you're able to kill the likes of a Void Spirit in particular. And they've been pretty good at killing Yopaj in a lot of these encounters, but, that's generally after he's used a lot of his burst potential and taken out a lot of the HP reserves on Army Genius's side. So it's not even that big of a deal. Again, a Void Spirit's not going to be one breaching the high ground. It's going to be a Bounty Hunter. It's going to be a Spectre.
Yeah, it's...
And there's that Desolator, by the way, that I was talking about. So now they actually can. They might... Would they even just walk into Roche? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Maybe they're a little self-conscious about the Rolling Thunder RP. But, I mean, this is honestly a little bit of a blessing in disguise for Army Geniuses, because Roche is definitely the area that you want to be fighting in as a Magnus.
Look at how they've set up, though, from Boom. Like, you got Yopaj scouting out the smoke, Hyde as well to the northern side. They can instantly use Haunt. Zura's actually going to look to jump in to one-man RP, but the damage with the follow-up enough to be able to bring down the Void Spirit, but now with the backline. Army Genius, they've already lost two. Wami is going to look to roll directly inside the wood cones, giving them some area of control at the moment here for AG, but it looks like it's not going to matter as once again, Boom can just overwhelm them. Hyde's going to look to jump on the backline, but he's going to be cautious now with the help of FBZ and Code, looking to push them further and further back to the safety of their high gun, but unfortunately for the supports, they just don't have that mobility. As FBZ can chase down another and Lim will fall.
How do you stop FBZ? You just cannot do it. He is an absolute menace for these supports. It's one of those games where he just walks up to you and two-shots you, and there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it. Like, we can see a Glimmer Cape is being built up by Varese, but again, really, I don't feel like that's going to be too effective at stopping too much of anything. Like, it does feel like the Ghost Scepter is the way that they need to go, but it's just way too expensive at this stage of the game.
It's a hard life for supports when you're this far behind. Feels like you need so many items just to keep yourself alive, and now you're gonna have to go up against the Aegis advantage that Boom have. Now, Spectre's not the best Aegis carrier, but it's not the worst either. So we'll see what now Boom can do to utilize this big advantage, because they've definitely had the net worth lead for the entirety of this game. So now maybe with the Aegis, they can look to slowly close this one out.
I wonder if that'll make them play a little bit more differently on Boom as well, right? Like, you've got the Aegis on the Spectre, and again, I've said it over and over again, it takes them so much to be able to have an advantageous team fight, right? They need the RP, they need the Rolling Thunder, they need the Soulbind, they need all this damage coming out, hell, even the Deathwood, right? If CTM just plays on the front lines and has, you know, Ricky occasionally popping up to hit with the Desolator onto a tower, you've got the Solar Crest, I believe, now completed as well on Tim's. So just put the Spectre on the front lines, and it'll take a lot to kill her, or you can potentially force out, like, some of the ultimates for the first life. And if you do that, then you don't have anything left for the second life. So it's kind of like, what's the saying? Like, cutting off the nose to save your face or something like that. Like, there's a no-win scenario here for Army Geniuses. Basically, if they are to do that on Boom, you need to wrap around. You need to somehow find a way to get in onto the backlines, use the RP, the Rolling Thunder, to chain lock down the Void Spirit. If you're able to catch Hyde in the trees before he's able to use a lot of his key abilities, that's fantastic as well. The issue is, how do you smoke onto a backlines with a Bounty Hunter walking around invisible and a Monkey King sitting in the trees?
That's a great question. Honestly, it's very difficult for them to find that opportunity. You know, maybe this comes down to DB with how he can potentially posture, but this is like your position 1 Ricky. It's so much more different than a position 3 or position 5 on Radiant, who can give them just so much information. Honestly, everyone on Boom can give some form of information, as they've been able to catch out the Witch Doctor, as Varese will just sacrifice his life here. Army Geniuses are standing hand in hand as Hyde's going to look to start on Azura. Try and get rid of that RP opportunity, Wami. Looking to try and offer up some protection here for the Magnet to get some skewer away. Now, it's a noble cause to at least get back to safety, as Wami can even Rolling Thunder into the TP out, so he's A-okay, but unfortunately for the rest of the heroes, like Lim, it will not make it away.
So, in my opinion, this game is over. They just used, I know, crazy, right? 20k net worth lead 25 minutes in. But they just used Rolling Thunder, they just used Soulbind for nothing. All they've got left is RP. So they're just going, they immediately TP'd through into the mid lane on Yopaj. They're just putting the Solar Crest onto FBZ with his Desolator. He's even got a freaking Hyperstone, man. So he's just going to continuously look to push down these towers on his own. Doesn't even need the Spectre there. I said CTM kind of needed to be the one doing it, but hell, FBZ, he's tanky as hell.
You see these towers, Now it's go time with the catapult at
Dire's
least.
middle tower
So
is
tier
under
2
attack.
would not be surprised, like you were saying, for the cooldowns that Boom can really start to utilize
Dire's
this
middle
and
tower has
maybe go a
fallen.
pie gun with the Aegis advantage. But they're going to look to guarantee their success here. What's the probability? It's 98%, so it's goddamn close to 100.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. Okay, well, we'll see Army Geniuses. This could be a nice building block for the new roster to test them up against the top of the table Boom at the moment.
Double damage.
It's going to be rough, that's for
Dire's
sure.
bottom tower is under attack.
DV, he's desperately just on the other side of the map, exactly where Boom don't want to be. He needs to finish that Manta style. He needs some sort of way to be able to sustain himself in these team fights. He wants to be able to break out of the silence from Yopaj, and he senses exactly what's happening. You've got, oh, actually ends up breaking the tree by accident, but it's going to be fine.
Each moment of your life led
Like you're saying, just looking to try and get whatever little farm he could towards a Manta, but unfortunately, Boom, the recognition of exactly where the Ricky's farming, and they're going to try and sweep to the northern jungle as well, which Hyde might be able to catch up Reese here. And that he can. So once again, I mean, it's so beautiful to watch a game of Dota where a team utilizes vision to such an incredible length. And that is what Boom has done so far in this game 1.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's like, remember the meta when Bounty Hunter was just played as that position 5 and all he would do is basically walk around the map and be a moving observer ward? That's kind of what Hyde is doing. Like, he's not going any crazy items that just provide him a ton of damage or anything like that. His main role is just vision and teamfight control, just by laying down the Wukongs and preventing them from walking in a certain area.
Now, Tim's has even gone for the Aghanim Shard here on the Enchantress, so maybe they're looking to ball up with the last remaining minute on the Aegis from CTM.
I mean, the thing is, he might even look to stick on someone. Like, if they get RP'd, for example, just walk up to them so that at least, you know, you've got the Nature's Attendants constantly going. Another 40 seconds of that Aegis remaining. They've got all of their ultimates available on Army Geniuses, and they've had enough to buy the Manta style, but yeah, the courier is actually going to the other secret shop to try and take it out. And look, they see him walking there. They want to try and intercept it on the way.
Oh no, DB, not again. Not a similar spot.
Oh, not
Well,
the
they might get the courier.
No,
They also got the vision
no,
as well. They are very split, but it looks like DB just gets a TP out. So they do still come bottom instantly. Aegis is about to tick, and CTM also uses Haunt. So I wonder if they stick around on Boom. They're going to be cautious because Army Genius is actually looking to try and take the fight, smoking up themselves.
They gotta wait. That courier is going the long way around, just wanting to make sure that it's not picked off. It's going right underneath some dire vision. Sorry, some radiant vision though.
Oh, they're not waiting. They're going to jump Tim's instantly straight on top of the backline. Skewer connects on multiple heroes, but the Yules at least will stop the two-man RP. So Hyde's unable to get outside the Wukong to give some form of area control here for Boom up on the
Tim's is
high ground. And now
alive.
FBZ can just look to go to work here onto Wami's Rolling Thunder. One use of the Janata gets rid of half his health pool. And now Yopaj has been able to catch up more heroes as well inside the base. They have to rely on the buyback from Army Geniuses if they can force some resemblance of a comeback and hold this game, but it's looking grim as DB is going to jump on forward. He'll kill off Yopaj, but once again, a free fight for FBZ as a bounty hunter can just do whatever he pleases.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I admire the fact that they went for it. You know, it's one of those ones where they've finally been slightly out of position. They had some decent vision down there with this observer ward that's still next to their own ancient camp, but
They're going to make
it's just
another
not
jump.
enough.
Skewers under the tier 4 towers, so that extra
Alright, that's a big kill.
damage is enough to find a killing streak. CTM, the next target as well, but I mean, do you want to brawl the Spectre right now? She just picked up the Scardy, so she's almost unkillable, and that's really coming to fruition as DB a blink away, but the dagger, a homing missile. Pinpoint accuracy is able to bring down the Ricky, and with that, boom, they're out.
Yes, they are. And, you know, it's unfortunate that you had FBZ's bounty hunter going down there, but he's done his job. You know, the first 20 minutes of this game was all bounty hunters. So now Spectre, she's taken her rightful position. CTM on the top of the leaderboards there. He's dealing a ton of damage and even just surviving, right? Like you kind of feel like you can't focus this Spectre down. You need to try and take care of everyone else around her. But it's just so much to deal with, you know, the Skadi, the Cloak of Flames constantly ticking out as well, just dealing so much damage.
Run up the high gun once again. Here's the vision advantage coming into play thanks to the Horn, so they can instantly target down the support, and they've also got the Magnus caught off to the western side, a triple for CTM, and it's just got to be at that stage, right? They're 28,000 gold down. It's 30 minutes in, and just holding on by a short strand at the moment here on Dire.
Wonder if Azura realizes as well. Never mind, they're making another jump here.
Again, the unrelentless pressure that's coming out. They sense blood. Smelling out of the waters. They're thirsty for more. And well, they won't get the kill until Yopaj dives deep onto the tier 4 tower. He can even play around with the illusion to get out of the initial silence. But now DP's the target. A perfect placement on the Remnant to drag him back to his demise as Boom can go back to bring down some objectives.
Dire's middle tower has
I mean,
fallen.
that's got to be it, right? Rolling Thunder, yeah, and they finally do call the GG there. Understandable. I just, the Ricky, it was cute, the attempt that they were going for. I just don't think that they set themselves up for any kind of success with how they eventually wanted to do the lanes, right? Like you mentioned, it was a pretty good job done by Varius to make sure that he was constantly blocking up the Enchantress's camps, making sure that she didn't have that way to pressure down the Ricky, but it didn't matter. You know, once you reach that critical mass where you have you know, a couple of points in the Nature's Attendants, where you've got a strong creep, you've got Bounty Hunter who's got great base armor and is able to deal a ton of harass just by having the Shuriken toss since it's been buffed up. They were happy to dive past a tower and they weren't punished at all for it. So against a team like Boom, if you're not winning the laning stage, I don't think you're going to win the late game, just because we saw how effective they were with their map movements. We saw how effective they were with just being able to pick off people time and time again.
Yeah, 100% right. I mean, a team like Boom, when they have an advantage like that, where you can just play so fluently throughout the lanes, and you also have a hero who really banks off having a strong lane and snowballing that to an out of control level, which we really saw on the Bounty Hunter. Like the net worth lead through the entirety of that game was all in Boom's favor. I mean, we were so surprised at the fact that it was like a 5,000 net worth lead at 7 minutes into the game, and that is a difficult way for Army Geniuses to be able to come back. And you know, as it shows, Boom, they were just able to close the grip ever so much to choke them out in about 30 minutes here for this game one. So Boom continuing with their dominant showing here for the BTS Pro Series Season 9. We got one more game here with our first series. We'll see if Army Geniuses can hit back.